reported today in The Verge. Windows 7 is gone, but what's next for Windows 10? Yesterday's computer news was about something old, Windows 7. After 11 years, Microsoft is officially ending support for it, though as Tom Warren notes, there's a healthy chance the company will blink and provide some kind of security update at some point for something critical. Windows has a reputation for shipping a good version, then a bad version. Windows 7 was one of the good versions, and upgrades to Windows 10 are free for consumers. That means you can skip right over Windows 8, and more power to you. Now, the future for Windows is harder to divine. Microsoft won't be releasing a Windows 11, but instead updating Windows 10 on whatever cadence it can decide on from year to year. Early on it seemed like it wanted to be a lot like Chrome OS in issuing updates on a regular and frequent cadence, but lately things are moving a little slower as some bugs have crept in. There's also Windows 10X coming later this year, the version of Windows 10 designed for foldable devices. You are reading Processor, a newsletter about computers by Dieter Bohn. Dieter writes about consumer tech, software, and the most important news of the day from The Verge. This newsletter delivers about 4 times a week, at least a couple of which include longer essays. You can subscribe to Processor and learn more about it here. Processor is also a YouTube series with the same goal, providing smart and surprising analysis with a bit of humor. Subscribe to all of The Verge's great videos here. By subscribing, you are agreeing to receive a daily newsletter from The Verge that highlights top stories of the day, as well as occasional messages from sponsors and/or partners of The Verge. When I interviewed Microsoft's CEO back in May 2018, time flies. It was clear to me that Microsoft wants to make sure its fortunes don't depend on Windows, and Nadella has achieved that goal already. Microsoft is as focused on making sure its software runs well on other platforms as it is on maintaining the platform that made the company, maybe more so. I think the action for the next while is going to be centered around the new Edge browser, based on Chromium, and what Microsoft can do with it. I'm confident the Edge browser itself will run fairly well and hopeful it'll be less of a battery killer than Chrome. For me, the thing to watch is whether Microsoft can use that technology elsewhere in Windows and Office or if Edge will just feel tacked on. Microsoft bids farewell to Windows 7 and the millions of PCs that still run it. Thank you to Windows 7 for undoing some of Vista's excesses. Thank you also to Windows 7 for being good enough to allow millions of people to skip Windows 8 because of its excesses. You have been stalwart and true, but now is the time for you to rest. May your registry always be CL. For more on this story, visit the news article link.